Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the Anaheim City Council meeting back to order. Clerk, can you please call roll?
Thank you, Mayor. Councilmember Bayless.
Here.
Councilmember Bacalba.
Present.
Councilmember Moz.
Here.
Councilmember Kurtz.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Meeks.
Here.
Mayor Aiken.
Present.
Let the record show we have 6 members present.
The first item on our agenda is an invocation that will be offered this evening by Pastor Ryan Chung from Chinese Baptist Church of Orange County. Following that, I'm going to ask Mayor Pro Tem Meeks to lead us in the flag salute. Can you all please stand? Pastor Chung, you can begin when you are ready. Thank you.
Let us bow our heads and hearts together. O Heavenly Father, God and Creator of the universe, I approach your gracious throne this evening on behalf of this Anaheim City Council meeting on this 9th day of September 2025. And it is right and good for your creatures to acknowledge you. You are the one true and living God who sent your Son to this earth because we as humans have sinned against you and are deserving of your just and eternal penalty. Yet by mercy, Jesus, the Son of God, came to this earth obeying your law where we failed. Then he submitted himself to death, even death on a cross. And though innocent, he died a sinner's death, bearing the shame of sin. And after his burial, you raised him victorious over death, hell, and sin. And you promise us that if we turn away from our sins and trust in Jesus, that his work on the cross and victory from the grave will be efficacious for us. We can be forgiven of our sins and pardoned from your eternal judgment with hope for eternal life. Enliven our hearts to turn away from ourselves and trust in the Savior, Jesus, for salvation. And with that said, Father, I pray today that as the only wise God, you would grant wisdom to the members of this council and the citizens who represent the great city of Anaheim. Grant these civil magistrates, these individuals whom you've placed in the position of authority, including Mayor Ashley Aiken, grant them the ability to exercise their God-assigned authority with skill and excellence, doing so for good and shunning evil. Impart to them a mind and a heart to govern and make decisions for this city with the intent to promote the well-being of its inhabitants. Your word says in Proverbs 29:2, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when a wicked man rules, the people groan. Bestow on Anaheim your favor, leading it to be a blessed city where its citizens rejoice because the righteous are in authority. I also pray for your protection upon the city's public servants, which include not just those who work here at City Hall, but men and women who serve in various capacities, including fire stations and police departments around town. Guard and keep them safe in the line of duty and service. And for tonight's meeting in particular, we ask for you to lead it such that the items on the agenda would be discussed and decided with humility, grace, civility, kindness, and clarity. And for Anaheim residents, I also pray for you to protect our God-given rights that you've bestowed upon us, religious liberty, the freedom of conscience, and the ability to gather peacefully, so on and so forth. These are gifts granted to us by your good and gracious hand, O good God. Both in the immediate moments and the coming days, bear the fruit of righteousness, human flourishing, and communal unity in the city of Anaheim. All these things we pray in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, Savior, King, and friend. Amen.
Mayor Pro Tem?
As we approach the 24th anniversary of September 11th, we honor the nearly 3,000 lives that were lost and the heroes who rushed to help and defend our freedom. Their sacrifice reminds us of America's strength, and it's found in our courage, our resilience, and our unity. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. We have a couple of presentations honoring some of the work in our community. So we are proud to recognize and celebrate this milestone of California's 175th anniversary. For 175 years, California has welcomed people of all walks of life who are searching for a better life. From our shared days as part of the Spanish-Mexican America to today, Anaheim and California enjoy an inseparable history. It's hard to imagine an Anaheim without California and a Golden State without Anaheim. We are a great combination. Anaheim is proudly a California city that shares and reflects our state's history, its diversity, and opportunity for all who come here. California is the most visited state in our nation, the fourth largest economy in the world, and Anaheim is proud to be home to the most visited attraction in our state, our theme park, which invites over 25 million visitors to our city on an annual basis. So tonight, in recognition of this anniversary, we are lighting City Hall and the Resort District in the state's colors of blue and gold. I would now like to invite a friend of Anaheim, Maurice Lyles, Southern California Regional Director for the Office of Governor Gavin Newsom, to accept this recognition. Please join us, Maurice, and share a few words. And we'd love to have a picture with you. Please go say a few words, and we'd love to take a picture.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Mayor Aiken. Really appreciate the hospitality and the warm welcome here. Hi, I'm Maurice Lyles. I'm the Southern California Director for Governor Gavin Newsom. On behalf of Governor Gavin Newsom, it's an honor to accept this proclamation from the city of Anaheim, celebrating the 175th anniversary of California statehood. We begin by recognizing the Tongva and the Luiseño peoples, the original stewards of this land, whose history and contributions remain vital to California's story. Anaheim itself reflects the spirit of California. Founded in 1857 by immigrants as one of the state's earliest planned communities, Anaheim quickly grew into a cornerstone of Orange County's development. Today, Anaheim is celebrated around the world as the home of Disneyland, a place of imagination and joy that draws millions of visitors, 25 million to be exact, each year to the state of California, making and contributing to making California the fourth largest economy in the world. Eat your heart out, Texas. And it is at the heart, and at its heart, Anaheim's greatest strength and vibrance and is the diversity of its people, families, businesses, and communities, whose cultures, traditions, and talents not only enrich the city, but all of California. I was just talking to Frank over there at Mama Cozza's, and the story that he's just mentioned just really embeds what I am talking about, the diversity, the strength, the culture of a restaurant that's 60 years old here in the city of Anaheim. As we celebrate the 175 years of California statehood, we honor this history and look forward to a future that is innovative, diverse, and full of opportunity for all to grow and thrive. Thank you for this opportunity and for marking this historic milestone.
Thank you. So our next presentation is to recognize Mama Cozza's as the 2025 Small Business Administration District Family-Owned Business of the Year. So if you grew up in Anaheim, you have definitely eaten at Mama Cozza's. This beloved Italian restaurant has been a cornerstone for our community, offering authentic Italian food in a setting that does feel like home. It all began with the family matriarch, Vicky Cozza, convincing her husband, Frank, who was an Anaheim police officer, such an Anaheim story, to open an Italian restaurant on Ball Road. And the rest is history. The family business has been with us for 6 decades. This award recognizes the exceptional dedication and hard work of the Cozza family in maintaining a thriving business, family leadership, and preserving their core traditions. So congratulations to Mama Cozzas and the Cozza family on this wonderful recognition. Can you please join us? Say a few words? Don't fight over the mic.
Again, my mother and father would be very, very happy about this. This is something that is unbelievable 60 years. I mean, I was in my mother's womb when they were cleaning out the restaurant. So again, I've been here for 60 years. The restaurant's been here for 60 years, and hopefully we'll see it for another 10 years and then maybe longer. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
And I believe we have some representatives from the SBA to give an award. Would you like to say a few words?
Well, on behalf of the U.S. Small Business Administration, today we are presenting the District Office Award to the Family-Owned Business of the Year. Once a year, the SBA recognizes excellence in business because of their vision, their growth, their creativity, and their resilience and ability to overcome difficult times. And in the last few years, Mama Cozzas revealed that they were able to do that with success. I encourage you to read the press release. We have it was released today on X, and you can read a lot about their beautiful story of success. Thank you.
So Anaheim is very unique in that we have not one winner, but 2 winners. So I'm very, very excited right now to celebrate another amazing family restaurant in El Pollo Fino, who was the 2025 Small Business Administration District Young Entrepreneur of the Year. So El Pollo Fino, yep, thank you. So El Pollo Fino is located just down the street on Anaheim Boulevard, right here in downtown Anaheim. This award recognizes outstanding entrepreneurial achievement, dedication, and leadership in the business community. Founder Roberto Hernandez opened El Pollo Fino, Anaheim in 1983. Today, his children now manage the beloved taqueria just down the street from us tonight on Anaheim Boulevard. They oversee daily operations of this cherished family business. For nearly 40 years, the restaurant has been a staple in our community. They are best known for their slow-cooked, charbroiled chicken. Sorry, everyone, this is making me really hungry right now. So thank you to El Pollo Fino for your continued commitment to our community. Congratulations on this well-deserved award, and thank you for feeding my daughters on the weekends when we come in after soccer. So would you like to please say a few words, Rebecca?
No, I just want to say thank you guys for having us. We've been there over 40 years. I grew up washing the dishes when I was little, cooking the chicken, and now I'm still doing the same thing. But thank you so much, and we appreciate everything. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, would you like to say a couple more words?
Yes, thank you. Again, today we are recognizing the Young Entrepreneur of the Year as well. And it's a young entrepreneur under 40. And one of the things we can say about this young entrepreneur, also the press release is on X today, but one of the qualities is that he became a CEO and he grew up as a child in the restaurant, and read about his great story of success, because this young entrepreneur is taking this business into the new generation with social media, technology, and his vision is one of the reasons why he was selected. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm really excited about this next one. So we are recognizing Anaheim High School Chamber Choir singers for their performance at a music festival in San Diego and earning an invitation to the Festival of Gold in New York City. So we know Anaheim is filled with a lot of amazing talent. And so we are always proud to celebrate and support our Anaheim students. The Anaheim High School Chamber Choir's recent performance earned them an invitation to the Festival of Gold in New York. The Festival of Gold brings high school choirs from across the nation to perform at a national level. So thank you to the choir directors, teachers, and of course, your families and parents for supporting these amazing kids. This is an incredible experience for this talented choir. Congratulations, and keep on making Anaheim proud. And I believe they are going to treat us with a performance.
So if we could form a couple of rows. Yeah. Perfect. Now, I know you guys, we're going to be able to hear you great, but for the broadcast, we'll bring this apart.
We can make this work. Maybe 2 big steps back.
Edges, could I ask some folks to come in the middle?
Trustees and the superintendent. Yeah, principal. Thank you, Natalie.
We're gonna get you.
That was amazing. Thank you so much to all the students of Anaheim High School. So obviously, it costs a lot of money to go to New York, about $3,000 per student. So they are actively fundraising right now. They have about $30,000 that they are trying to raise by the end of January. So I'm going to ask our team as well to get in contact with the Anaheim Choir to get their GoFundMe, to get their fundraising link. We'll try to put it out on the city resources. But, you know, if everybody in Anaheim pitched in a quarter, we would be way over there. So if you could please share it out there and just make sure that we get these kids to New York and we make sure that every single one of them has an opportunity to make their dreams come true. So I keep saying every presentation, oh, this is one of my favorite presentations, but it really is. Also, every September, we take a moment to recognize our amazing Anaheim service clubs. So this is a special opportunity to recognize the incredible contributions and impact that our service clubs in Anaheim have throughout our community. These organizations are the driving force behind so many good deeds here in Anaheim. The time and energy that our fellow Anaheim residents put into these organizations does not go unnoticed. You are strengthening our neighborhoods, you are connecting families, and you are leading the way in creating positive change and are the definition that helps us live up to our mantra as the city of kindness. Your work touches the lives of everyone across our city and inspires others to give back. Anaheim is lucky to have a strong network of service clubs, and there is definitely something for everyone. So I encourage our community to learn more about our amazing service clubs and be a part of Better Anaheim. And do we have a list of all of our clubs that are here with us? Okay. Thank you, sorry. I don't want to, sorry, I just want to make sure I don't miss anybody. Oh, okay, whoever wrote this font has like really good eyes. Okay, here we go. The first I'd like to recognize is our Kiwanis Club. Can you come up, Kiwanis Club? Yeah, so it's going to be just to keep me on schedule. Kiwanis Club, the Anaheim Rotary Club, Anaheim Beautiful, Assistance League, Ebell Club of Anaheim, Anaheim Hills Rotary, Anaheim VFW Post 3173, El Bacal Shriners Group, Altrusa International of Anaheim, American Legion Post 72, and Lions Club. And every year, nobody can beat the Shriners in the VFW.
Kristen.
Thank you, everybody. I do encourage you, if you are looking for a way to give back, if you're looking for a way to serve Anaheim, please look into all of these groups. They really do amazing work. It's a great way to meet new people serving the common good. So last but certainly not least, I see in the audience Mr. Nick Berardino, as well as Mr. Bobby McDonald, who serve on the board of Valor. So Valor is a okay, we got Bill Cook up there. Come on down. For those of you that don't know, we are the esteemed home of the future Veterans Cemetery of Orange County. This group, Valor, has been working for years, over 10 years, to make sure that our veterans and our veterans of foreign war, as well as those that have passed in the line of duty, have a honored and hallowed resting place in the city of Anaheim. So I am very excited to introduce Mr. Nick Berardino to give us an update on some of their work, as well as make a presentation to the council. Mr. Nick Berardino. Hoorah.
Hoorah. Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. We're here tonight, first of all, we wanted to make a presentation to the council. And I want to just briefly, we're going to be very brief because we know you have a big meeting. You've already done a lot of presentations. But this city council in this city has been the tip of the spear for us in a long, long battle. It's lasted many years, and all we've wanted to do was to get buried. That's it. It hasn't been that we've wanted a lot of money or we wanted more benefits. It took us, Vietnam veterans, 50 years to come out of hiding. We were hiding for 50 years. We couldn't tell anybody that we were vets. We grew our hair long. We pretended we weren't. And it caused such great tragedy, both in our physical health and our mental health, that it is really unspoken what the tragedy and the mistreatment that these veterans have had. We talk to them every day. They're dying every day. And to this date, while they die, they still have no place to be buried. We've been kicked around in this battle for many years, led by Bill Cook, started about 14 years ago. We have endured lawsuits. We have been kicked off of 2 pieces of property. We have been challenged at the ballot box with initiatives to stop the cemetery because nobody wanted it near them, or they wanted it somewhere where it couldn't be built. But we persevered. But we couldn't have persevered without heroes. We couldn't have persevered unless we had heroes that came to our defense. People who wouldn't turn their backs on us, because we never turned our backs on them. And finally, at the end of the road, when we thought we were just about finished, we came to Anaheim and we asked them for their help if they would host this cemetery. And I was speaking to a fellow, his name was Wiley Aiken, and a former mayor named Tom Tate. And I said to them, we have to come to Anaheim. We are in trouble. We need you. And I'll never forget what they said. They said, we would be honored to have you, and we will be honored to fight for you. And they have stood by us as the tip of the spear, fighting for us, this council and this staff. The staff has been remarkable. Their planning department put things aside to help us. The city manager has been available. But the council, this council, we owe everything to. The battle's we never know what's going to happen next in this fight, but we've cleared every single hurdle they've asked us to clear. We've been in the legislature. We've passed 5 pieces of legislation, including having to pass a piece of legislation that protected the property from more litigation. This is a sin, what has taken place. And those people who have opposed us have really, and not support us, are the final insult. But you are heroes to us. And we'll never forget you, and we're going to honor you. Bobby has a quick thing to say on behalf of Anaheim, and then we want to give you something. So, Bobby, make it quick, would you?
Don't say it. Don't say it. Thank you. Honorable Madam Mayor, honorable city council members, as a community advocate, a longtime resident of Anaheim, and let's see, what do you call it? Chair Emeritus of the Anaheim Housing and Redevelopment Commission and the Housing and Community Development Commission, I really want to say thank you for helping build this cemetery for EMTs, police, fire, our veterans, and our communities. I'm happy to see that we're still doing community development and you're still allowing me to help with the community development. But with that being said, thank y'all for everything. Appreciate it. Thank y'all.
No, we're not done. So we're almost done. So we would like if the city council would join us just right here. We would like to give you what Valor gives to all who we commit as our heroes, because you're our heroes. Thank you very much. God bless all of you, and God bless America. Thank you.
If we may, let's get a group photo.
Thank you for your patience, everyone. I'm telling everybody that I won this in curling. It's going to be my story, and I'm sticking to it. So next on our agenda are recognitions to be presented at a later date. Clerk, can you please announce them?
Thank you, Mayor and City Council. We have 5 this evening, recognizing September 11th, 2025 as Patriot Day, recognizing September 16th, 2025 as National Voter Registration Day, recognizing the week of September 12th through the 21st as Welcoming Week, recognizing the 17th through the 23rd as Constitution Week, and recognizing the month of September 2025 as Hunger Action Month. And I believe we do have a representative for Hunger Action Month to accept, if they can step forward at this time.
Thank you very much. Compared to the previous, it's getting much lonelier up here, but there are literally nearly 360,000 other people who suffer from a lack of consistent access to nutrition in Orange County. So on behalf of Abound Food Care and the Orange County Hunger Alliance, which includes both food banks, Second Harvest, and Orange County Food Bank Community Action Partnership, I want to thank the city of Anaheim, the mayor, the council, and the staff for recognizing Hunger Action Month and encouraging everyone to participate by supporting your local nonprofit organizations that feed people, including many of those service organizations that were here earlier. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
So now I'd like to call to order the Housing Authority in joint session with the City Council. Clerk, are there any additions or deletions to tonight's agendas?
Mayor and City Council, there's just one update. Item number 10 on the consent calendar is a sewer easement agreement. There was an update inclusive of an exhibit to the agreement that was included and submitted and distributed to City Council. Noting for the record, there was no changes to the terms and conditions. It's just the update to the exhibit. That has been posted, distributed to City Council. The action tonight will be inclusive of that update.
And you said it was posted on the city's website?
That's correct.
Thank you very much. So clerk, can you please outline the public comment procedures and call forward the first 3 speakers to line up and address our agenda?
Thank you, Mayor. Speakers have one opportunity to address the City Council, except for the scheduled public hearing. The public comment is limited to 90 minutes or until all agenda item speakers have been heard. Any time remaining of the 90 minutes will be provided to speakers who wish to speak on any non-agenda related items, but within the council's jurisdiction. A second public comment period will be opened by the mayor only if any non-agenda item speakers were not heard during this first public comment period. The mayor will open it at the end of council business. The time limit for public comments is 3 minutes per speaker. Those wishing to address the City Council must complete a speaker card, which is available at the back of the council chambers. The name and contact information on the card is optional. Any unidentified speakers will be called by the speaker card number. At this time, I'd also like to announce that Spanish interpreting services are provided at every City Council meeting. Simultaneous Spanish interpretation is provided through the use of headsets, and consecutive interpretation is available to anyone who would like to address the City Council. For translation services in other languages, we please ask you to contact the City Clerk's office prior to the scheduled meeting. At this time, I'd like to introduce our interpreter who will make the same announcement in Spanish.
Buenas tardes. Se proporcionan servicios de interpretación al español en todas las reuniones del Consejo Municipal. Se proporciona interpretación simultánea al español a través del uso de audífonos, y la interpretación consecutiva está disponible para cualquier persona que desee dirigirse al Consejo Municipal. Para servicios de traducción en otros idiomas, por favor comuníquese con la oficina del secretario municipal al menos 48 horas antes de la reunión programada.
At this time, on behalf of the City Council, we would like to remind the public that Anaheim remains committed to freedom of speech, and we ask that speakers address the City Council with civility and refrain from making personal, threatening, abusive, or slanderous or profane remarks towards any member of the council, staff, or general public. We appreciate you reflecting this spirit when you speak. The time now is 5:59, with the 90-minute public comment period set to conclude at 7:29, or until all agenda item speakers have been heard. We do ask speakers to line up once they see their name appear on the projection screen behind me, and I will also be making the announcement and calling the names forward. Mayor and City Council, we just have one speaker addressing the council agenda for items number 1 and 2, and that's Mr. R. Joshua Collins, and if he can step forward at this time.
Good afternoon. My name is R. Joshua Collins. I'm founder of Homeless Advocates for Christ. And first, I'd just like to encourage everyone to give their life to Jesus Christ, who died on the cross for us, to save us from hell, to give us everlasting life, to save us from our sins. We've all sinned. We all need a Savior. And Jesus, of course, was very concerned about the poor and the needy. I'm also very concerned as well about some of the things that have happened in Anaheim and that still happen. as I've heard before, that some say this, the golden rule, those that have the gold make the rules. Sometimes that's kind of how it is, right, in towns that have a lot of money. Now thinking about this, Anaheim currently has about 4,072 affordable apartments, and we still have more than 30,000 households that are on the wait list for Section 8 vouchers. Over 4,000 are waiting specifically for affordable housing options. And I kind of looked at the numbers, and I'm thinking, well, I wonder how many people fit in Angel Stadium. About 45,000 people fit in Angel Stadium. Sometimes they could put more in there if they wanted to, but that's supposed to be what they're supposed to have in there. So we have a stadium of people just desperately needing housing, right, in this city. And we, at times, of course, have seen a lot of mismanagement of tourism funds, diversion of funds, and we have billions of dollars flowing into the city from Disney, Honda Center, Angel Stadium, and of course we see a lot of catering to visitors and corporations over the residents that are in need of shelter and housing. And this is a major shame for the city when so much money is flowing into this town. It's very heartbreaking to see that. And we're supposed to be a city of kindness. I know that's been said, but it just doesn't seem very, very kind to me to operate this way. And still not have any rent control. I know seniors they're worried about the next rent increase. There's people that are having to decide between food and rent that I know. I think one of the priorities, of course, one of the major priorities should be more affordable health care, affordable housing, good job opportunities for people. What are we doing in those regards? Definitely we shouldn't be taking lavish trips on the taxpayer dime, those types of things. That's obviously not good for the city, for the people of the city. And God has a lot to say about those types of things. He doesn't say a lot of good things for people that are oppressive, and doing things that don't help others. So just want to encourage the council to think about all those things. We're all going to reap what we sow. There's a heaven, there's a hell. Jesus calls us to him to live as best we can for his glory, not for our own selfish desires, of course. We all got to check our hearts. I hope everyone will do that. And thank you for your time.
Mayor and City Council, that concludes speakers on agenda items. We do have 23 speakers that are addressing the council on general comments. I'll go ahead and call the first speaker, if they can please step forward. The first speaker is Marco Baiza.
Good evening. My name is Marco Baeza. I'm talking on behalf of the Salvation Army Shelter and the City of Hope. There's a lot of people that are disabled there. On the street of Lewis Street and Ball, there's no bus and there's no sidewalk, like halfway, like 2 blocks of no sidewalks. So a lot of people are getting run over, and it's really dangerous for people that are in wheelchairs or walkers or walking in canes. I have problems with my own knees. I can't walk out down there to catch the bus because the ground has holes. If you get on the grass, they got holes, and I can hurt my knees and stuff. So I'd like to see District 1 here, maybe they can try to see how they can fix that problem. They've been around there for so many years, that shelter, and there has been no help for those people to walk safely down that street. So be nice if you guys can think about putting a sidewalk. I know it's public property because I see light poles and electric poles there, and I know that belongs to the public. And also, Central of Hope, I think between both of them, there's 370 people living in that area. And mostly, they're all walking. I know there's no bus running there. It'd be nice if there would be a bus to pass through there to help the disabled people, because they're mostly disabled. And on the Central of Hope, it's a nice program, man-managed. It's really bad. It's starting to look like a project. It's going downhill. It's 2 years old. It's falling apart. It's a waste of money. I wish they had someone there running it right. And because that's a chance for everybody to better their life. And they clogged up the system there where they don't want no one to move. And so no one can move out of there, no one can move in to get help. So it'd be nice if they could start giving out vouchers and the caseworkers there, anybody that's there, telecare, to help people get their vouchers and get forward. There's a lot of people that get Social Security disability. They can afford to move forward in life in that area and let other people come in that needs that help. As long as that we clog up that system, no one's gonna get help. No one's gonna go forward. And that's what that program's about, is going forward. And I would appreciate it if you guys can look into that, especially housing, because there's a lot of people there that live there and they've been there for the whole year and they don't even pay rent. I mean, they're visitors that don't move out. So, and it's a mess. Hoarding, it's a lot of drug activity, prostitution. All we need is someone to sell alcohol there, because we have everything else. Thank you.
Our next speaker, Paul Hayek.
I agree with the guy that was just ahead of me, and we should have our CERT people that are trained in disaster run these shelters, and why don't they have the workers bring in Access or Keola to do the transport? Also, CERT month, disaster preparedness, panty liners, for the scrapes, pad elbows, diapers, nosebleeds, the insertables, and a lot of these guys that are in our shelters have trades. Why can't we set up a program where if they need repair work on their sidewalks, the guys that know how to do it that are in these shelters go out, do the labor, and supply them the materials? Why don't we do that? And Kramer's full of illegal drugs. Julio's trafficking in illegal drugs. And they got prostitutes, they got ladies of the night. And Mercy House is trafficking in illegals. That's RICO country. And you know who the kingpin is? Mr. Donald F. Gaffney, Superior Court Judge, and he's also running the Legal Aid Society.
Our next speaker, take a step forward. Anne Marie Randa Trejo.
Good evening. Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. My name is Anne Marie Randall Trejo, trustee of Anaheim Union High School District. I have my colleague here, Trustee Guerrero, and also the Assistant Superintendent, soon-to-be Superintendent, when Michael Matsuda retires in December. So I'm here tonight to speak about the Anaheim Union High School District's successful implementation of Measure K, a $497 million bond, which was overwhelmingly approved by voters in November of '24. We're here to thank the voters of Anaheim for believing in the brand of AUHSD. With Orange County's most robust internship program with over 120 businesses, nonprofit partners from 17 Orange County cities, we are proud of the AUHSD brand throughout the county. We are pleased to announce that the district recently completed its first sale of its Measure K bonds, totaling over $207 million. And this is a significant step forward in providing much-needed upgrades and improvements to our local AUHSD schools. What's even more impressive is the financial prudence demonstrated by the district. Prior to this bond sale, Moody's Investors Service upgraded the district's credit rating from AA2 to AA1, which places us with some of the highest-rated public school districts in California. This upgrade is a testament to the district's strong financial management and will translate directly to savings for Anaheim's taxpayers. We're looking at an estimated interest cost savings of up to $2 million on its initial bond sale alone due to this improved rating. This isn't an isolated incident. The Anaheim Union High School District has a proven track record of being excellent stewards of taxpayer dollars. And just last year, they successfully refinanced previous bonds, saving taxpayers over $4.2 million. This ongoing commitment to fiscally responsibility ensures that every dollar from Measure K will be maximized to benefit our students and our community. And we can be confident that these funds will be used efficiently and effectively to enhance our schools for generations to come. And with more good news, our Trustee Guerrero.
Good evening, Mayor Aiken and honorable members of the Anaheim City Council and city staff. My name is Jessica Guerrero, and I proudly serve on the Anaheim Union High School District Board of Trustees. I'm here tonight just to share some information to the community about the safety and well-being of our children and staff within the Anaheim Union High School District. We want to express our sincere gratitude for the ongoing collaboration between the City of Anaheim, its leadership, and especially Police Chief Armendariz. This partnership has been instrumental in fostering a safe environment for our schools. It stands as a shining example of how local government and educational institutions can work together for the greater good. We also want to acknowledge concerns that have arisen regarding immigration enforcement. AUHD has clear, established protocols in place, and our staff has been trained to respond appropriately should any situation occur. These protocols are designed to protect the rights, dignity, and safety of all our students, staff, and families, ensuring that our schools remain safe havens for learning. In addition, this district has hosted numerous Know Your Rights events in collaboration with local nonprofits. Our students have also been active in community service, organizing food and supply drives to support families in need. And we want to sincerely thank the City of Anaheim and the City Council for supporting these efforts. Whether you attended the events or shared flyers or connected families to our resources, your continued collaboration is deeply appreciated, especially during this time when unity is essential. We are also grateful for the city's efforts through programs like Anaheim Contigo, which provide essential support and information to our immigrant and underserved communities. Our community schools have also been proactive in sharing this vital information with families, helping ensure that they are informed, supported, and connected. On behalf of the Anaheim Union High School District, thank you all for your leadership. Together, we are making Anaheim a stronger, safer place for all. And with that, we're also here tonight to, as my colleague stated before, introduce our incoming superintendent, Dr. Jaren Freed, who is a Catella High School graduate with deep roots in the community. He has an over 12-year expanded career in AUHSD, serving as a teacher, assistant principal, assistant superintendent of human resources, and most recently, the past 10 years as assistant superintendent of education services. So proud to introduce him tonight. Thank you.
There you go. Well, good evening, Mayor Aiken, members of the City Council, and of course, the great city staff. I just want to again welcome and introduce myself again as Jaren Freed, Assistant Superintendent at Services, but future Superintendent for the Anaheim Union High School District. I come tonight to actually just speak about love. I have gratitude and appreciation for all of you and the work that you've done to support our schools, whether it's donating angel or duck tickets at many of our events, or coming to our district events, providing AIM internships to our students, or co-hosting our esports tournament. We appreciate you very, very much. A few years ago, you all approved a community school resolution joining our community school efforts. And as you may recall, we're one of 3 districts in the state of California recognized as a deep dive transformational district. We have over 120 to 150 visitors come quarterly to our schools to learn about the approach that we're taking on our whole child community school approach. I want to thank you for loaning us Joe Perez. He serves on our district's community school steering committee. He also serves on our Anaheim Collaborative organization, which he represents the city and does a great job, both he and his staff. I know Brian Schwan also comes to our meetings periodically to thank you for your support. I also want to add to what Trustee Guerrero had shared around the safety and security of our campus. We've been doing vulnerability assessments on our campuses, and I want to give both Trustee Guerrero and Trustee Randall Trejo a lot of the credit for that. That assessment looks at all the entry points and exit points to a campus, along with every camera that's on our campus, and gives us feedback on where we have liability or we have risk. And then we get that feedback, and then the board helps us with our maintenance and operation department to close up those gaps so we can ensure our campuses are the safest campuses for our students and our families, and of course, course, our staff. We've already done Anaheim, Sycamore, and Kennedy, and the next phase that we're going to be bringing to our board is for Catella, South, Magnolia, and Lexington. Also want to give specific thanks now to some of you specifically, Mayor Aiken and Councilmember Rubicava. I just want to thank you for your incredible kindness and thoughtfulness. As you heard our choir perform earlier, it was because of your generosity and thoughtfulness at Disney, and again, give them a lot of credit, donated $50,000 to support their trip to New York. So can't thank you enough on behalf of our families and students for your generosity and support, so thank you. I also want to thank, I know he's not here, but I have to give a shout out to Councilmember Leon. I feel like I need to get him an office in our schools. He is there all the time supporting our work. Like me as a former Anaheim Union student, I feel like he never left. He's always there. So I know he's probably watching wherever he is, but hopefully he's okay. But thank you for your support. And then Councilmember Moss and Kurtz, I can't thank you enough as well for your support. I know our principals reach out to me regularly and tell me all the time how much they value and appreciate you, the two of you. You're at events, you're engaged at the events. You're not just there for a photo. You're engaging with our families and students, and they notice that, so thank you. And then Councilmember Moss, also South is grateful for the crossing walk guard that you helped secure, so thank you very much. And lastly, just a shout out that we are here for you. If there's anything that we as a district can do to better support you and the city, please let us know. We want to do our part, and then of course, likewise, we're grateful for all the things you do for us. So appreciate the partnership. Thank you for all that you do.
We have our next speaker, Susana Galan. Susana Galan. Then we'll go to our next speaker, Karina Gonzalez. Karina Gonzalez. Our next speaker, Adriana Mercado. No? Adriana Mercado. Our next speaker, Ofelia. No? Ofelia. Anna Reese. Council members, we're also going to check with staff outside to make sure there's quite a few that are not. Next speaker, Jason Bayoa.
Good evening to the honorable members of the City Council. My name is Jason Bayoa, and I am a concerned resident of the Center of Hope Salvation Army Apartments. I am here today to speak about a critical issue that affects the safety and well-being of many of my neighbors and me. The lack of ADA compliant accessibility at our building. The doors at both front and back entrances of the Center of Hope are not accessible by individuals with disabilities. This is a significant problem, as a large portion of our residents are permanently disabled. I myself use a walker, and many of my neighbors rely on mobility scooters and electric wheelchairs. Every single day, we face a major challenge just to get in and out of our own homes. The doors are heavy and difficult to use, creating a constant struggle and genuine safety hazard. It is unacceptable that in this day and age, residents with disabilities are being denied basic dignified access to our living spaces. We need your help to address this. I urge the City Council to intervene and ensure that John Stewart Property Management installs Americans with Disabilities Act ADA compliant doors immediately. This is not a matter of convenience. It is a matter of basic human rights and safety for all residents. Thank you for your time and listening to my concerns.
Thank you.
Our next speaker, Stephanie Jo Sargo. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was them. Sorry. So Stephanie? Art Castillo?
Good evening, everybody. So I'm going to stick to many subjects I like about the Anaheim stuff that's been in the past, that's happening in the future, but this will be directed towards the produce truck vendors. I started the city at 13 years old, working in Parks and Recreation, lived in some communities where it changed, and then a lot of things were moved. And at 17, I was down here with Mayor Don Roth at the time, getting a Hero Award for a thing I did, and then another one of people almost, getting killed and all that. So I kind of like didn't care about anything, getting an award, but they made me come out here and stand there. But I was proud, my name's sitting up there at the mayor's office as a Hero Award when they made that Horn Award. So I really love my city. I loved everything here. I try to make it better. I got involved in the community ever since at that time, 13 all the way up, and helping people assimilate and everything, telling them things. But one time I approached the city here when there was a vendor owner, and he was really, really good at speaking. So I met him and I said, "Can I help you? I like to volunteer to see how we can work things out on issues of ordinances." So at that time, there was laws made in their moving, parking, and whatever they were doing. So I worked along with it, and the problems I was having was not one vendor can really make, speak for others. Nobody ever got together. So I created a vendor association. I became a coordinator, not paid, volunteer. So I was working with the code enforcement, and I was working with the police department, and not just this city, other cities, because this started going widespread. So I've had plenty of meetings for 12 years working on it, and finally it came to a point where it stopped. Now I can go into details, but I think I'd rather keep that between, if I can speak to you personally so you would know, because this is something that has happened, and this is like a repeat. And the ordinances were either changed somehow during the line, and so we never had that problem of towing people's vehicles. Once we did, but that was where they voided it because all the tickets were voided, and they gave back the vehicle and paid that man for his day of work. So I was always being called, here, getting tickets. So there was an issue, and again, I'm being kind of nervous because I don't want to come off to be negative on things. I want to make a positive out of this. So when I heard what happened, I came back and met with vendors. And again, I don't speak for everybody, but the ones that had all their certificates, their permits and everything. And I used to tell the code supervisor, what's the issue? And so the issues were really minor. And again, every ticket that I got, some people got 14 tickets, 10 tickets. The
Mr.
officer was sitting
Castillo,
there.
I'm sorry, your time is up.
Okay, so I actually want to talk to you guys separately so you get to know what's going on, so you're aware of it before I come and speak and say things. and
Thank you,
names.
Mr. Castillo.
Thank you.
Our next speaker.
Your Mayor, City Council. Now, in the Bible, it says you drop good seeds in people's brain and their heart. And that's what I keep on doing, coming back and doing that till maybe sink in and start growing. Okay, now, on the news, this criminal cut this girl up on the bus, okay? And he had many, many bad arrests, and they keep on letting him out. That's what the public defenders and DAs do. They make deals. And the public defender does not defend me. They go to the DA. And they're supposed to be separate, we the people. And now it's coming true what's going on, okay? Now, they make deals with real criminals and illegals, and they're back on the streets to kill, rob, another DUI, kill somebody again. Or many brothers are not paying their child support. And this is gonna come in a little bit. Many brothers not paying child support. And the shirt, this brother here, he's a famous rapper. His friend and brother were together, and then he went on his own. He was jealous, so he killed him, okay? That's your brother, your friend. There are no friends, and you ain't got no brothers either. Okay, and the Harvard sure said I would always be attacked the rest of my life because I'm starting to read the Bible and the devil's going to attack me. All the cops and everybody attack me, listening to these dumb idiots. Well, now it looks like everybody's being attacked by God, and he'll change everything around like I told you. And like my shirt, it says, so much for friends and brotherhood, huh? How many brothers have borrowed money and did not pay it back? How many brothers cheated with your wife, girlfriend, or your daughter? How many of your brothers didn't help you? How many brothers been falsely arrested and charged and did time? How many brothers had sex with my niece and other underage children by Disneyland and police didn't do a damn thing? How many brothers and parents drink liquor and smoke dope with your friends and family around your children? That's what I got to say. And you know what? I know what happens. I used to be that person. But you know what? I hate people that bring that crap around your children. Thank you.
Kualititaki, good afternoon, buenas tardes. Ni toka masa, ni tokan tekpat from the Obsidian Knife Clan, Heart of the Mountain Clan, the Pilotzin Mexica tribe. I've never said this, but I am a registered enrollment member of the Tango Gabrileño tribe, Huhutugna and Shishogna, two bands, which is the Santa Ana River. I want to thank Mas for honoring our cousin, my brother, Armando Rizaba, rest in peace. It means a lot to us. It was kind of just sudden that he was found dead in Mexico, and I kind of, I actually mentioned it to you at the Chicano Heritage. It was nice. You spoke well. Thank you so much for always talking about the history. And Anaheim is changing slowly, demographics have changed a lot. And when we raised money at the GoFundMe for him, it was $35,000. It went up to like almost $40,000. And I want to thank our relatives, our white brothers and sisters, because I went to the viewing, and it was interesting to see half of the crowd was Caucasian, and the other was our people, Mexican, Chicano. We're Native Americans. Mexica is how you say Mexican. Chicano is where the word Chichimeca, the Utes, we're under the Ute Azteca Nahuatl linguistic family. And the reason I'm bringing all this up because of the history of the city. And I said something, I wanted to say something there, but I didn't. I didn't want to offend my niece, cousin. She's half white, half Mexican. She actually went to Carlsbad High School and actually knows Jim Vanderpool's family. There's a connection there. I didn't know where somehow, it's a small world. So I know you're watching, Tatiana, and we sang that Bear song because I know a lot of people are Catholic and Christian, but I myself am not Christian or Catholic. I was Catholic. My mom was Catholic and Christian, but we decided to go back to our roots, our ancestors. And in memory of my cousin Armando Rizaba, I asked him, teacher, my primo, hermano, can I ask you something? Why'd you stop teaching at Catella High School or in Anaheim High School? You were my substitute teacher at the guitar class when Mr. Ingram used to be there. And he says, honestly, he looked at me and he said, because the Anaheim Unified School District is very racist. And Catella High School at that time when he was teaching was very racist. Of course, he was our skin color. He wasn't a white skin. He didn't have that white privilege. And we shouldn't judge no one by the skin color. We should judge by not even judge, but just our experience, And so I just hope that one day that name of that school, the Collins, does come down. And it will start hurting, And I know it takes time for us to heal, and we're all equal. It doesn't matter what color we're from. And it goes back to the food truck vendors. I grew up in Parque La Ponderosa. When we were 9 years old, we moved over here on this side. By La Reina, and I remember seeing a lot of discrimination there. A lot of things happened, and it's still going on. And that's just the history from leaving the pool when they didn't allow brown people. The settlers would not allow the brown people to swim together. But now things have changed, so we must heal from the past. And my grandpa, mi abuelito Arturo, would say, "Si no sabes tu pasado, if you don't know your past, then you don't know your present, and you don't know your future. No sabes tu futuro." Thank you all. I don't mean to disrespect anybody, and we love you all. Tlaxcamati, gracias.
We have our next speaker, Charlotte Knighton.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and staff. I was here last month asking for monies to resurface the Olive Hills tennis courts. Since then, I went on to the website and also called cities with a population of 300,000 to 450,000 because Anaheim has a total of 340 residents. And I wanted to kind of compare the amount of tennis locations and tennis courts to what we have. Irvine has a total of 314,000 people. They have 19 tennis court locations with a total of 96 tennis courts. Santa Ana has a total of 316,000 residents, a total of 10 free public tennis court locations with a total of 18 tennis courts. I decided to go throughout the state. Chula Vista has a total of 274,000 residents, a total of 15 locations and 41 tennis courts. Bakersfield, 413,000 residents, total of 10 locations and 19 tennis courts. Riverside, total of 318,000 residents, 7 locations with 21 tennis courts. Further up north, Stockton, California, a total of 318 residents, 29 locations, and a total of 64 tennis courts. I'm here, I'm asking you guys to please help the Park and Recreations Department to fix the Olive Hills tennis courts. Anaheim has a total of 2 public tennis courts. I'm only asking for 1. Pearson Park tennis courts are in immaculate condition. We have the 1 tennis courts that location I'm concerned about, and Park and Recreation need money. They need money to fix these courts. We have a beautiful city, beautiful city. Residents come to Anaheim, they want to use the public tennis courts, don't have them come to tennis courts with the condition that they're in right now. And I'm on the tennis court. We have guests coming in all the time from out of state, and they're shocked with the way our tennis courts look. So I beg you, I urge you to help Park and Recreation to fix these tennis courts, please. Thank you.
Hello. I'll take a break tonight from talking about the ice raids, but they're going to be getting a lot worse next month, so I hope we can figure something out. I'm here today to speak for Anaheim's produce trucks and to thank you for what you've done already today on the issue and let the public know. To be clear, we're talking about produce trucks, not food trucks, because there are other types of food trucks that have to follow other laws. In Anaheim, there are about 85 produce trucks, more than I thought. They pay taxes. They have 3 different sorts of permits: a business license with the city, a permit with the OC Health Department, and they register with the police department, where they get fingerprinted and have background checks. Many of them have been doing this for 30 years with no problem. They're law-abiding Anaheim small businesses, pillars of the community. Then all of a sudden this year, right when Trump's ice raids hit the community, Anaheim police have started giving them tickets and towing them for being oversized. This is suddenly a problem now. A few food truck owners have had to pay as much as $1,500 to get their trucks, their livelihoods back in the tow yard. Sure enough, there's a municipal code on the books from 2018 which says that vehicles over 7 feet high cannot be parked on a residential street for more than a few minutes or they can be ticketed or towed. Produce trucks are sometimes as high as 10 feet. But this ordinance has never been used against them till this year, and they were never given any warning either. Not that they could really chop off the tops of their trucks. The ordinance had nothing to do with food or produce trucks. It was targeted at people who lived in RVs and parked on residential streets. Captain Duckwitz of the APD tells me that the ticketing and towing only happens when somebody calls and complains about a particular truck, which they do anonymously. And this started citywide at the same time as the ice raids, just saying. But we want to thank Norma, Kristen, and Carlos for starting to do something about this problem, and Mariana for her organizing. Today, the city has agreed to suspend the ordinance for 30 days from what I heard, although now I hear differently, in Ponderosa and Anna Drive. There's a little problem there. I hope I heard wrong. This is happening in other parts of the city as well. It needs to be suspended citywide. For a permanent fix, I'd point out to Mr. Vanderpool and Fabella that the ordinance includes a list of exemptions starting at 14.32.206.030. We just need another exemption to be added for permitted produce trucks. All tickets given under this faulty ordinance should be rescinded and refunded, and the truck owners who had to pay from $500 to $1,500 to get their trucks back out of impound should have their money refunded in the spirit of Anaheim Contigo. Finally, Anaheim Democrats Club meeting is this Thursday night at the Untold Story Bookstore with Assembly candidate Mark Polito, Palestinian activist Mervet Judah, and the anti-ICE activist Lucha Anaheim. Be there. Thank you.
Our next speaker.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Aymara Bermejo, residente de Anaheim por los últimos 30 años. Hace 5 años empecé con este negocio de camiones de comida, en los cuales yo estoy pagando impuestos, permisos de ciudad y permisos de salubridad. En los últimos 2 meses estoy pasando por unos momentos muy desagradables, con mucho estrés mentalmente porque no puedo continuar con el negocio. Un oficial de policía está estresándome cada semana poniéndome tickets por $79 y hace una semana pasó y se llevó mi camioneta. Por sacar la camioneta tuve que pagar $600 y para mí pues es mucho esfuerzo el que estoy haciendo para continuar con este negocio.
Good afternoon. My name is Amar Bermejo. I'm a resident of Anaheim for over 30 years. In the past 5 years, I started this business, this family business with my truck, and for which I have been paying taxes, permits, and health department cost. And within the last 2 months, I've been through some very difficult times because there is a lot of mental stress because there's a police officer who's been stressing me. I cannot continue with my business. A police officer has been stressing me, and in this past time, they gave me a ticket for $75 every single week. And this past time, they actually took my truck, for which I had to pay $600 to get it out. And it's a lot for me. It's a lot of work for me. I cannot continue with my business in this manner. This is why I'm here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker, Mike Robbins.
Thank you. I'm Mike. We paid $1.6 billion to build the resort industry and $250 million to build hotels also. We depend on them for a big part of our income. But we have a problem, as I'll reiterate again, the cabal. The FBI called it corruption. We call it Tuesday in Anaheim. This isn't the city council. It's just Disney Extended Food Court. Instead of corn dogs, they're serving campaign checks. Up to $700,000 per city council member. That's not a campaign contribution, that's a timeshare. And we'll go back. You voted on an 18,000-page Disney expansion plan unanimously. No questions, no dissent, 18,000 pages. That's longer than all the Harry Potter books, the Old Testament and the IKEA catalog put together. And you didn't read a page. I just don't believe it. Why bother when you are being paid to hallucinate progress? This is good enough for the people of Anaheim? Is it the people living in the hills waiting for the next wildfire? Or the people working at Disney who can't afford to rent a studio apartment? It's not corruption anymore. They put a cute little name on it, campaign contributions. It's bribery with Mickey ears. You get the same product. Now it comes with fast-paced access to the council chambers. I know you guys are meeting with the head of Disney Worldwide and whoever you're meeting with. Forget democracy. Anaheim has perfected a new system, mouse-eared fascism, funded by campaign checks, and wrapped in a churro-scented American flag. And certainly we could do a lot for public services in every way, If we had a 2% tax, Disney pays zero tax on their admissions and parking. And if we had a 2% tax on that, it would increase year to year according to their, to the amount of money people pay to go there. The people that we put our money into to bring them here. And now we want to support the city with that funding as it should be. You can still do that. I don't know why Disney would not want the city to be stable and funded properly. There's just something wrong. When you speak to them, it can't be about yourself or what you're going to do in the future for Disney. It should be about the city of Anaheim and what you're going to do for the city of Anaheim to make it secure and funded properly. Thank you very much.
Our next speaker.
Anaheim likes to portray itself as a welcoming city, but welcoming to whom is the question on my mind. Certainly, we are welcoming to tourists and businesses in the resort area. We're also welcoming to anything that has Disney in the name. We're welcome to hotels. We're welcoming to sports teams and entertainment venues. But are we really welcoming to all? There are some who would insist that we are, but I beg to differ. We are experiencing things that I could never imagine that we would have happening. Did you ever imagine that your door could be forced open by people claiming to be law enforcement, and they could just take you and members of your family with no information supplied at all? And did you ever imagine that we would have a city that really does nothing to stop it? No verification of ID of the aggressors, no paperwork supporting the charges they are using to kidnap people. If your skin color is brown, then you are at risk of being kidnapped. Citizens, legal residents, illegal residents, all are in danger, and it will be increasing. In the meantime, Anaheim as a welcoming city could be doing more, much, much more to help the most vulnerable. We have been asking for rent control for years. We have been asking for an eviction moratorium for years. For years, we have been asking for a tourism fee from those who are profiting off our city, all with no success. However, now it looks like a first step has been taken in temporarily suspending tickets for produce trucks for 30 days. For that, I thank those of you who have been involved. However, I wonder who gave the order to start this ticketing and towing of produce trucks. See, this ordinance has been in effect for 7 years, 7 long years, and this has never happened before. And now with ICE roaming the streets, Anaheim PD starts ticketing. Was it an order from the chief, or was it a rogue officer that decided to make life just that much harder for people barely scraping by? Was it an officer who is a bully, who likes to kick people while they are down? However, this 30-day pause should give you time to permanently modify the ordinance by issuing a variance for produce trucks that are supplying our most vulnerable communities. These small businesses that have been in business for decades deserve to feel welcome in this city. Now it is time to really be a welcoming city and have rent control, have an eviction moratorium. I received a phone survey this weekend asking how I felt about all the wonderful contributions made by Disney to our community. I am sorry, but people are living on the streets, families are overcrowded in tiny apartments, people are going hungry every day. Maybe you can guess how I responded to that survey. We need an entertainment tax, a tourism tax to boost the general fund so that the residents can live the basic lifestyle that they deserve, so that they can play tennis on decent courts, so we can have more than one public pool. It is time to be welcoming to the residents. Thank you.
Our next speaker, Brian Kay.
A happy day. Yeah, I've probably sat before 20 judges in my life in court. My favorite judge is the one who sentenced me to life in prison. Sounds a little odd, doesn't it? First off, I'm not in prison. The second thing was she was ignorant when she did that. She raised the gavel and said, "You're incorrigible, uneducatable, and non-rehabilitative." She had been lied to. The public defender and district attorney both agreed that I was crazy and life was an acceptable sentence. They were arrogant. The judge was arrogant about this. She took this information. She was so proud. She was actually singing the sentence. She raises the gavel and she looks at me and she goes, you're awfully young. I was just in my 20s. She goes, what's it feel like knowing you're going to spend the rest of your life in prison? She was arrogant. She was cocky. I stood up, looked her in the eye, said, may I see the evidence being presented that's liberating me of my life? The DA and the public defender couldn't produce any evidence. All they could do was sit there and cheer about how the defendant was crazy. Ignorance, arrogance. This is where you're all the same as that judge. You're ignorant and you're arrogant. This is where she defines herself. She becomes angry. You know who she's angry with? The district attorney, the public defender. Ashley, when you were a federal prosecutor, did you ever have a judge scream at you at the top of her lungs? I could hear the judge in her chambers yelling about how angry she was that the DA and the public defender had lied to her. So when I stand here and when other community members stand here, we're petitioning you, and Yesenia Rojas sits here, she's giving you the opportunity to apologize and tell the truth. To say, Yesenia, you know what, we don't have any evidence you were resisting arrest. Here's your $350. Here's your clean record. Here's the truth, la razón. It's all any of us are asking you to do. And the sad thing is, not one of you have the courage to tell us why you hate us so much. I remember Nick Berardino, I remember the veterans at the county board and Andrew Doe telling them not to use public comments
Mr. Kay,
as a
your time is
reason to
up.
ask for their cemetery. And I remember standing up and saying, Andrew Doe, you thank them for coming down here and speaking.
Thank you.
So please, consider.
You. Can you please call the next? Can you please call the next
The
speaker?
next speaker is Paul Sanford.
Good evening, Mayor Aiken and esteemed council persons. I'm coming to you tonight just to speak about some great news, and I think it's important that I sort of share it with you. You know, I'm from the resort, and I'm all things general fund and visitors to Anaheim. We sort of hit a milestone this past week in Anaheim. We actually had Merritt's Travel. That may not mean much to all of you, and that's why I'm here, but it's the most prestigious and oldest travel company in the business. It's about 133 years old. We could never get them to Anaheim, never. And they came, and they brought 50 of their top agents, and the city did an incredible job. They've booked 55 definite programs, and it equates to $232 million in revenue to Anaheim and such. And none of that would happen without the support of the city staff, the city management office cleaning up the resort with the ordinances. It's just been incredible. So I'm very thankful. I want to make sure I share that with all of you. We also had a Marriott Franchise Owners Association in town. That's their top developers. They came to Anaheim when we first opened the West, and they've never come back to another city. They came back, and they're looking over Anaheim very closely. Of course, I'm Anaheim's cheerleader for hotels and development, so they're looking at it extremely closely. And I know that you've all had to work through a lot of different stories that have gone through, a lot of allegations and such, and bad news. And I want to personally thank you for that, because it's obviously starting to turn. So personally, thank you. I do want to also mention a couple of items that are going on. The Four Diamond Westin Anaheim Resort got one of the highest ratings of any Four Diamond hotels. So to the city staff, Mr. Vanderpool, that was involved in putting that together and so tough on us, thank God they did it, because it's really paid off. And then lastly, Councilwoman Kurtz, I can't thank you enough for all the great work you do for the resort. It's amazing. You know, Wincombe is fully behind the down payment assistance fund, and I know you've championed that, and we want it to happen, so anything I can do to get the resort to step up. We really need to take care of our workers. We need to make sure they have home ownership, and it's the next step for us. So please know we appreciate all your good work moving forward. And lastly, I want to thank the Visit Anaheim staff. They've been largely behind getting this business to us. I know there's been a lot of talk about what do they do. Well, they're working very hard, and Merritt's Travel came specifically at their recommendation. Also, the Anaheim Convention Center team is doing an incredible job. I got comments today about how good it's going and running. So I know this is nothing earth-shattering, but it's all good news, and things are going great in the resort. And we're seeing a lot of good business, group business, that's doing very well. So thank you.
Our next speaker, Mark Richard Daniels.
Thank you, Teresa, for that lovely introduction. I happen to be sitting close. I just want to, first of all, I missed the medal ceremony. I guess you each got a little medal there. Does Carlos get one even though he didn't show up? And just, we don't know what happened to it, Carlos. Mayor, you look like Sonia Henning. Now, that's a name from history. She won 3 gold medals. She was from Norway, won 3 gold medals in the Olympics, 1928, 1932, 1936. She was the foremost figure skater of her time, and she was in the movies too in the 30s and 40s with your hair back and all that. Google search Sonia Henning. Anyway, I just want to echo what most of the folks have already brought up about targeting the most vulnerable. Well, suddenly this is an issue that we have to bring the produce trucks, we have to question why is this, this is another Trump disaster that's been brought to the people and the most vulnerable people in the community. And we cannot stand for this anymore. And the worst thing that's going on is complacency, because now people are jaded, which, that's what the whole process is from the beginning, is people have seen the ICE raids, they've seen all this stuff going on out there in the community, and after a while you get sort of blasé, you get sort of jaded. Well, I've seen this. It's not a shock value anymore. The shock value is gone, and we cannot allow this to happen in this great country of ours, or what's left of it. And Donald Trump is absolutely one of the worst humans that's ever walked this earth, an absolute disaster. And the sooner he gets removed, the better. And it's just gonna compound itself the longer this is allowed to happen. And what is like any dictator or any strongman, it's the people around them that just allow it to happen. They just, blindly go along. Then later they'll testify they didn't know anything about it, or they were only doing what they were told. The typical dictatorship. So thank you very much.
Our next speaker.
Mark Herbert, AnaheimGrease.com. Company towns have 2 entrances. They have the private entrance and they have the public entrance. Tonight, I'd like to start looking behind the private door to Anaheim. Back during the scholarship prep project, there was a lobbyist who didn't register for a year, lobbied, didn't file quarterly reports. That was a misdemeanor, up to 6 months in jail. But behind the private door, the city attorney and the council never pressed charges. I don't know what happened. It's behind private doors. So let's look behind the public doors and the produce trucks. They've been ticketed since January of this year, and their towing and parking fines, as of Sunday, 2 of the owners were faced over $1,500 apiece in towing fines. Their truck was there for one night. 2 others were $550 apiece, again, one night. And several had $79 tickets. Evidently, because this arose through the public door, things take longer. And it wasn't until they spoke up in the community here in August that there seemed to be any kind of movement. Nothing happened between January and August through the public door. So I think they should be reimbursed for their tickets as you sort this out the next month. And there's places to look for that money, and I'll offer just a few. It might help if the Chamber of Commerce, the new Chamber of Commerce, spoke up. These are small business owners. This seems to be right in their wheelhouse. 2, I trust there's been emergency small business association loans initiated to cover for this. It's been since January. I suggest we look at the Business Emergency Fund in the Economic Development Department. It's there on the website. This seems to be an emergency, and these are the small businesses we're looking for. Perhaps we should look to the Anaheim Police Fund. Be a good way to mend some fences between the community of Ponderosa Park and the police. And perhaps we should look, this is a long shot, issuing them a private contract like we did with Skyway when the city had a transportation problem. They gave a $20,000 contract to Skyway. Give one to the community
Mr. Herbert,
as
your
we
time
sort
is
out
up.
this problem. Thank you.
Our next speaker, Susana Galan.
Buenas tardes, soy Susana Galán. Venía aquí a darle las gracias por el reconocimiento a nuestros estudiantes de la High School Anaheim. Estamos súper contentos por su apoyo. Éramos más madres de familia, pero se tuvieron que ir. Estábamos súper contentas, pero aún no llegamos a la meta del costo y queríamos pedirles ayuda a cada uno de ustedes. Yo sé que es algo difícil. Ya la asistente de la mayoría se comunicó conmigo y me dijo que nos van a ayudar con unos boletos. Muchas gracias, Mayor. De verdad que siempre cuando he pedido ayuda he venido aquí. Nuestra concejal Natalie Rubalcaba siempre ha sido muy trabajadora. Está haciendo un buen trabajo. Gracias, Natalie. También vine a apoyar a la gente de las troquitas, ya que es gente trabajadora de verdad y está generando para la ciudad de Anaheim. Una historia que se me quedó de la vez pasada es de que una persona que tenía cáncer estaba pidiendo trabajo, que lo dejaran trabajar. En la siguiente semana, Inmigración lo detuvo cuando tenía cáncer el señor. Yo sé que está fuera de sus manos, yo lo sé y los puedo entender, pero también me llega el sufrimiento de mi comunidad, de mi gente. Natalie, tú eres una persona que tus padres son comerciantes, tienes tu familia, fue comerciante. Entiéndenos un poco, por favor. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Susana Galan. Thank you for recognizing our Anaheim High School students. And we were more parents, but they had to leave, and we are very happy. We haven't collected half the cost, so we need help from each of you to help our students to have a beautiful experience. And thank you for all your help. Thank you, Mayor, for all you're doing. You're doing a great job, and you are supporting all the students here. We are here asking for more for the cost to the trip to New York, and also want to ask for the working people from the food trucks that they are scared of going out in the community. So the last person, I was very touched for a person who was here with cancer, and the next week he was detained, and I was really touched by that. And Mayor, you have parents who are also merchants, so please help us. Thank you.
Our next speaker, Adriana Mercado.
Hola, buenas noches. Mi nombre es Adriana Mercado y estoy aquí para agradecerles el reconocimiento que le hicieron a nuestros hijos de coro de Anaheim. Como ustedes saben, ellos tienen la emoción de ir a Nueva York y sería buena la oportunidad de que representaran la ciudad, que tuvieran una buena representación allá. Entonces, estamos aquí para pedir apoyo para que ellos puedan cumplir ese sueño. Ellos están trabajando duro para eso. Estamos varias de las mamás aquí pidiendo apoyo para ellos y ustedes ya los han escuchado. Ya saben cómo son. Gracias.
Hello, my name is Adriana Mercado. Thanks for all you're doing. Our students, like you saw before, they're excited to go to New York and represent our city. And they are working very hard to fulfill this. And this will be a beautiful experience for all of our students. Thank you.
Our next speaker, Kenneth Batiste.
First thing, greeting everyone, giving honor to God, those on the council serving the God of the people. We seem to be at an impasse, real quick. First thing, let's get it out. The city of Anaheim would love to do more with their park and rec. Only one public swimming pool in a city of this much resources. I know on a whole bunch of your own neighborhood, you got more swimming pools than the whole city got. I live on a 7-house cul-de-sac. We got more swimming pools on that cul-de-sac than they got in the damn whole city. What's wrong with that picture? What is the number one reason why kids drown between 1 and 5 years old, up to 5? Swimming. So what are we doing about that? Do we serving that responsibility of not getting those kids in the water, not having fair? Government by the people, of the people, for the people. But it seems like our government is only working for the special interests. The small people with these small businesses got to fight tooth and nail. Every penny means something to them. Their rent is going up $150 every year. And tickets, towing charges, come on. Where's the Chamber of Commerce now? Who are they really fighting for? This is what I'm talking about, small business and big business. We can talk about Disney not paying taxes. We can talk about poison in the water with the fireworks. We can talk about $184 million for the Arctic. We can talk about $190 million for the Convention Center 2. But when we talk about rent control so people can stay in their house, we get nothing. Why? Because it seemed like we play to the profiteers. The pendulum will swing, and it will swing with knowledge. Some of you, when you came in here, you said that you would come in with a whole new agenda. Campaign reform. Have we ever even heard of agendas of campaign reform? If we haven't, then that means that the people that are holding the strings still are intact and that nothing really has changed. So all we need to do is educate the people. We'll get our own media.
Mr. Batiste, your time is up.
God bless. Be safe. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor and City Council, that concludes our in-person speakers. Wanted to know for the record, we did receive electronic comments. 9 were general comments and 1 was related to item number 6. Each of those were distributed to the City Council as well as posted on the city's website and can be found at anaheim.net/public comment.
Thank you. So we will now close the public comment portion of the meeting and move on to council communications. If you have council communications to share, please ring in now. I'm happy to start, Madam City Clerk. I wanted to give a special shout out to our community services department. As well as the Ducks and the Kaboom family. On Thursday, along with council members Maz and Bayless, we went to Maxwell Park in District 1 and worked with both the Ducks and the Kaboom organization to revitalize this park. And it really was a wonderful way to bring the community together. Not only did we get our vitamin D out in the sunshine and burn some calories, it was really neat that the park was designed with the input of the school and the kids next door. So they're the ones that are going to use it. We're not going to see the faces of most of the kids over the next several generations that are going to play in this park, but we know it's going to be fun because it was built and designed with the input of kids. So just thank you very much for everyone and our amazing parks and community services team that came together to help do this. Next, in the same vein, we had a topping off ceremony at the OC Vibe of the Weave. So this is a project that really is kind of the first phase. We see it coming together. Just a year ago, they started with the parking lot, and it is being built quicker than they even thought. And I just want to give a special shout out to the Samueli family. They are not only amazing philanthropists in the city of Anaheim, but even as a business, one of our major stakeholders and owners of our hockey team and visionaries for the OC Vibe. They did this entire project union built, and they really were champions of our building trades, champions of our unions for this project coming in under budget and early, which usually you do not hear. So just wanted to congratulate the OC Vibe team as well as all the men and women that are working hard every day to see this project go up. Next, I wanted to just highlight, again, with Councilmember Maz and Councilmember Rubalcaba, this past Saturday, we had our Girls in Government second annual. I wanted to give a special shout out to Councilmember Rubalcaba, who really is a tireless champion for this project. For those of you that aren't aware of what our Girls in Government program is, it is open to junior high and high school age girls to come in and listen to not only the women on this council, but as well as the amazing women that we have in all of our different departments, other elected officials, giving them insight into what career opportunities are available, both in the city government and in the public service, as well as pathways to get there. They got to take their headshots to build their resumes, talk about how to put resumes together, interview skills. It was just an amazing program. So thank you for a second year in a row to Councilmember Rubalcaba and those that are able to attend for this amazing program. Later that night, I don't have a slide of it, but I wanted to just acknowledge we had another fundraiser for Chance Theater in Anaheim Hills. It's their annual fundraiser that raises money for all of their free scholarship programs for kids in Anaheim that cannot afford a 6-week theater program. It's called Speak Up. It puts mostly junior high and high school age kids in the program. It teaches them how to write, produce, speak, perform their stories from their perspective, and it's always a really wonderful program. They also do a special program for kids with autism, teaching them how to tell their stories, perform their stories in front of a live audience, as well as their Veterans Speak Up program, which works through a lot of the different issues that veterans face, helping them work through their stories and making sure those stories have a voice. Last, I think, just wanted to share this weekend, special shout out to our Anaheim Police Department, Anaheim Fire Department, Public Works, Utilities, everyone that came together to put together another Run Disney weekend. This one benefited Girls Inc. The Run Disney family and all of the runners raised over $50,000 for Girls Inc., which is one of the amazing nonprofits. It was obviously Maleficent themed on Sunday for the half marathon. It was a choose your villain weekend, but over 25,000 people come to our city to participate in these runs. And I thought Anaheim looked really, really beautiful for all these people joining. I wish it was cooler and I ran faster, but that is the beauty of age. So 22.4 miles later, I'm still here. So thank you everyone that really put their time and energy into showcasing our beautiful city. Next one, I turn it over to Councilmember Campos-Kurtz and then Councilmember Moss.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I don't have any slides, so no panic. We recognized our service clubs earlier, and you look out from these seats and you see the people that you see all the time in the community, and they are true heroes. They are working hard to make our city better. But tonight, I also want to mention that we each of us represent over 50,000 residents, larger than most other cities in Orange County. And each of our districts have neighborhoods with very unique, distinct personalities, demographics, economics. We have single-family neighborhoods, apartment neighborhoods, infill townhomes now more and more. You name it, Anaheim has it. It is impossible for each of us to know every neighborhood and every street in our districts. So that's why I want to just take a moment to thank who I consider neighborhood heroes. These are the folks, these are the residents who take time out of their precious day, who notice things in their neighborhoods, on their streets, and call us, email us, text us, to talk about a problem, an issue in their neighborhood. They're not just complaining, they're saying, how do we fix it? Can you help us? In just this last week, and it's only Tuesday, so from like Friday to today, I want to thank a few people in District 4, Gloria, Charles, Deloth, Antonio, Guadalupe, Carmen, Mariana, Aimolifoa, I think I said that right, Linda, just a few residents who called or emailed about issues in their community. And they're calling not just for themselves and for their own families, they're calling for their neighborhoods. So I, for one, and I think I speak for all of us, really appreciate the calls, really appreciate the residents who want to make their neighborhoods better and to ask us to help them do that. So tonight, I just want to say thank you to all of them, and please reach out. When you see something in your neighborhood, reach out and we will try to help. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I have a couple of slides to share. So as was mentioned, last week I had the privilege of joining my colleagues to the topping off ceremony at OC Vibes Weave office building. It was a special moment to sign the highest beam and to meet many of the workers who are building Anaheim's future. The Weave will be the first office building within the OC Vibe project, a development that will bring new opportunities, jobs, and spaces for our community to connect. I want to thank our city staff and the council members who came before me to approve this project. I especially want to recognize the men and women who are making it a reality every day, the engineers, planners, contractors, and union workers whose hard work and skill are turning plans on paper into places we can all be proud of. It's projects like these that show we can accomplish what we can accomplish together, and I'm grateful for the investment, the jobs, and the people who are helping to shape Anaheim's future. Next slide, please. I would like to share a great opportunity for manufacturers in the Anaheim Canyon. Starting September 23rd, the Elevate program will kick off a 5-week course to help manufacturers in the Canyon grow their business. This program is for manufacturers ready to expand operations, upgrade technology, build their workforce, or explore new markets here and abroad. There's also help with navigating, identifying funding, and navigating government contracts. Sessions are on Tuesdays from 10 a.m. to noon through October 21st. It's an easy hybrid format, so businesses can join in person or online, whichever works best for them. At the end, there's an in-person graduation where participants can share their growth plans and be recognized by the city. The City of Anaheim offers this program with the Orange County Inland Empire Small Business Development Center and Cal State Fullerton. If you or someone you know is involved in manufacturing in Anaheim Canyon and looking to grow, we encourage you to check it out. And this slide is about 988 Day. So yesterday was 988 Day. This is a day to raise awareness about the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline 988. By calling or texting 988, people can connect to free and confidential support 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Since its launch, more than 17 million people have reached out for help. This shows just how important this resource is. But awareness is still low, and many people don't know it exists. I want to encourage everyone to help share this number. Having it ready could save a life. And I don't have slides for the next couple of comments, but I just wanted to mention on August 27th, I had the opportunity to ride along with Anaheim Police Department's HALO team, which is the Homeless Assessment Liaison Officers. During that ride, I witnessed 2 individuals accept shelter and 1 accept treatment. It was amazing to watch the skill and compassion of our Anaheim Police Department along with the community CCR team. Thank you, Community Care Response Team. I witnessed a peer advocate share her experience, strength, and hope. And I watched a woman who has been on our streets for a long time accept treatment. So that was really amazing. I also wanted to mention this last Saturday on September 6th, I stopped by Catella High School where once again the Catella Spirit Squad was collecting resources for families in need. They collected food, household items, and personal hygiene products. The students organized this drive. They gathered the donations and will create care packages. I want to recognize not only the Spirit Squad, but again, their leaders, Michelle and Dana, who have been working with these young leaders to give back to our community. So thank you, that's all I have.
Thank you, Mayor Aiken. So I don't have a slide for this portion, but Teresa, I do have a slide for the end. But I just wanted to mention this past week, we did have an attempted bank robbery or alleged attempted bank robbery in District 3 at Bank of America. And I just want to highlight the massive response by Anaheim Police Department and the coordinated efforts by all of those who responded, from dispatch to officers who were on site. The person did have a gun, and they were able to apprehend that person without incident. There were no injuries, and I think that that is a major testament to the teamwork and the effort and all of the training that our Anaheim Police Department has gone through. So I also just want to give a special shout out to Officer Timothy Gale, Gabriela Soto, who were the two who arrived on scene first, and they confronted the armed suspect. They were also able to apprehend this person right away, and Dominic Borelli came to assist in getting the suspect and also to take statements from the witnesses that were there. So I just want to mention that I think this is a really good story. Nobody was injured. It could have been a lot worse. We see things on the news that impact our neighborhoods, and this bank happens to be in my district and right across the street from the police department. So I want to thank our Anaheim Police Department, sworn and unsworn officers, for the work that you do and for being on site. Oh, we actually did it. Thank you, Mike. Mike was able to get that slide up, so thank you. And here's just some pictures of the day it occurred. They were able to evacuate the building, and I'm just really grateful for the work that you guys do, so thank you. Let's see what else we have up there. Oh, perfect. So recently we did have a Supreme Court decision that I just wanted to share some of our, or at least my thoughts on what has currently happened. So for those of you who don't know, the Supreme Court decision on immigration enforcement was shocking, but not a surprise, I think, to most of us. But here in the city, we've been working really hard to make sure that the residents who live here know that they are safe and that they should be able to call 911, and that our first responders, whether it's fire or police or even housing and community development or calling public utilities, they should know that they are here and that our city is serving them. We are working really hard to ensure that all of the city services are for everyone who lives in our city. At least I do not support racial profiling in any way. And I did issue this statement because it's something that's important to me as a fourth-generation Mexican-American who grew up in Anaheim, who was motivated to get politically active by Proposition 187 and other propositions like Prop 8. I just wanted to make sure that we were all aware in the city that there are people who sit behind this dais who support everybody, regardless of their race, documentation, or the language that they speak in the city of Anaheim. So I did post this online, so if you would like to read the full thing, I please encourage you to do that and share it with others as well. Almost last but not least, I also wanted to mention we have a wonderful nonprofit in our community who actually generates no revenue. They self-fund this entire initiative, but it is Green Birds. We celebrated their 11-year anniversary this year. They do significant work in District 3, which is the district that I represent. We were able to pick up a lot of trash Labor Day weekend, and it was very hot. But we cleaned up George Washington Park and the surrounding area. So I just want to thank all of the volunteers, including Jody and Kevin, who really lead this initiative. For those of you who would like to continue to get involved, I highly encourage you attend the next one. It's September 20th, and they are meeting at the Packing House. And I don't have a slide for this, but I did want to mention, so during agendizing opportunities, I will be agendizing an initiative that I've been working with city staff very, very closely on. It's something that I've mentioned here on the dais, but as many of you know, our city budget has been very impacted. We're about 60 million in deficit, so we have been using bond funds to help bridge that gap. But one of the things that I'll be asking city staff to come back to, and I'll share in more detail during agenda item setting, is looking at an entertainment assessment that looks at not only tickets, but also parking revenue in our city. I grew up in the city. I have many family members who still live here, and it's important to me that we continue to generate revenue. Not on the backs of the people who live here, so I'm not really interested in a sales tax initiative, which would directly impact our residents. I am really looking for something that would help from an entertainment perspective. So we do have a large employer who generate an economic engine for the state. I don't know if people know, but we get 1 cent of every dollar that comes from there. The rest goes to the county and the state. So one of the initiatives that I will be asking the council to look at is how do we leverage some of the billions of dollars that are being generated. I also will highlight during that agenda item setting the parking structure, which is the Mickey and I think Friends structure, was paid for really by the TOT revenue that the city has been generating and then diverting to pay off the bond. So that is also one of the reasons why I think having an assessment on parking would be significant, not only to help fund affordable housing projects in our city, but also to help parks, community services, our first responders. We do have a city that has not budged on our response times in quite some time. So it would be nice to be able to fully staff our first responders on the fire as well as the police side. And then I also know that many of my colleagues would like senior centers and other support. Not to mention, we do have 1,500 employees in the city of Anaheim who do a significant amount of work on behalf of the residents who live here. And it's our duty as a council to ensure that we are having more, well, as our city grows, not only in size from population, but also from projects like OC Vive and Disney Forward. I hope that our friends at these large entertainment venues will agree with us that it is conducive of them to help us generate the revenue needed to help our city move forward. So with that, my council comments are concluded.
Thank you. Councilmember Bayless?
Thank you. I usually try not to bring up issues that somebody else already covered, but I'm going to do it tonight. Anaheim's newest playground is over at Maxwell Park. I know the mayor brought it up again this evening, but I would be remiss if I didn't say thank you to everybody who came out and helped with the Kaboom project. So thank you to Kaboom. Thank you to the Anaheim Ducks Foundation. Thank you to city staff. You know, these things don't get done without the city staff. So thanks to JJ, Shawnee, Mike, Kim, Santiago, and I know there's many more that I'm missing, but not only were you guys out there on Tuesday, Thursday, but also Wednesday, I know as well. That was a lot of cement that was mixed up, a lot of wood chips that were moved. We couldn't do it out without you guys. Also to the Maxwell elementary students for the design day coming up with the park. It's black and orange. The play structure itself is out there. You can't miss it. You drive down Orange. It's a really a nice thing to see. If you haven't been by, I encourage you to go by it. And I think also a couple of our city commissioners were out there helping with the day as well. So thank them. And that'll be all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Council Member. Now is the time for the city manager's update. Mr. City Manager, do you have anything to report?
I do. Thank you, Mayor, members of the council and public. Health Fair. We welcome everyone to join us for our annual free Anaheim Health Fair on Saturday, September 20th from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Anaheim Convention Center. The event provides entirely free care to hundreds of people, many without insurance, and others just looking for the convenience of same-day care. Services include dental, fillings, vision tests and glasses prescriptions, women's care, physicals, and extensive medical testing, all with no insurance required and only minimal paperwork. For those looking for dental and vision services, we encourage you to come early as spaces fill up fast, and those services can take longer. The health fair is Anaheim at its best, with doctors, nurses, and providers volunteering to serve hundreds of people from our community and beyond. For many, this might be their only time this year they see a doctor. Thank you to everyone who makes this happen, and welcome to all those who will be joining us. For more information, please visit anaheim.net/healthfair. On the housing front, with the City Council's approval earlier this year, we have kicked off a program under the Anaheim Local Housing Trust Fund. Staff invited real estate agents and lenders to form a Learn About the New Down Payment Assistance Program. We shared the program with our realtors who are working with Anaheim families who can benefit from the program. We also got feedback from lenders to ensure that our program works well with their lending products. This is just one of the first of several workshops and community events, with much more to come from the Anaheim Local Housing Trust Fund. And finally, California Clean designation. While it has always been a top priority over the past year, we've really amped up our efforts in restoring our public spaces. We've held countless cleanup efforts at our parks, streets, railways, freeway areas, and more. I'm proud to say that Anaheim has been awarded an official designation as Clean California Community under the statewide Clean California Initiative. We are one of about a dozen cities in the state to receive this official designation. It reflects Anaheim's role as a leader in the statewide movement to protect and beautify our great state. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager. We will now recess the City Council and address the Housing Authority consent calendar. Items 1 and 2 are before us. Is there a motion? A motion by Councilmember Bayless. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilmember Rubalcaba. Please vote.
The vote is 6 ayes, no nays, with a recorded absence by Councilmember Leon.
Thank you very much. Without objection, we will adjourn the Housing Authority and reconvene the City Council to address the City Council agenda. Items 3 through 11 are before us. Are there any members of council who wish to pull an item for further discussion? 3, 2, 1, okay. If not, may we have a motion to pass the consent calendar?
I'll move.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote.
Pursuant to Government Code Section 54953, an oral summary of salary and benefits shall be made prior to the final action of council on any local agency executive. Item 5 on the consent calendar is approval of merit, salary increases, and other recommended adjustments for the city council appointees, city manager, city attorney, and city clerk pursuant to the Government Code Section 54953C3, and the personal rules and policies for non-represented city employees, Section 4.7. For the following, 3% salary adjustment for the city clerk resulting in an annual salary of $254,645, a 3% for the city attorney resulting in a lump sum payment of $11,022 pursuant to personal rules with an annual salary $367,439, and for the city manager a vacation credit of 70 hours, each to be effective July 4th, 2025. And the vote is 6 ayes, no nays, and the recorded absence by Councilmember Leon. Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 12 on our agenda is the appointment of a voting delegate and alternates to the League of California Cities Annual Conference. Are there any nominations?
I'll nominate, sorry, Councilmember Moss.
Councilmember Moss, are there any, do we vote on this one now?
Mayor and City Council, we can vote for all that if the dice also has appointments or names for the alternates, and we could do it all in one vote.
Okay, are there any volunteers or anyone that wants to be voluntold as an alternate?
I nominate Councilmember Bayless as an alternate.
I like this.
And Mayor, we can just proceed with one, or if the council wants to do.
I'm going to close it right there before the rest of us get caught in the fray. So can we please vote on appointment of Councilmember Maz and alternate Councilmember Bayless?
The vote is 6 ayes, no nays, and the recorded absence by Councilman Malone. Appointments move forward.
Thank you. So item 13 is a public hearing. Clerk, can you please read?
Thank you, Mayor. Item 13 is a public hearing to consider a city-initiated clarifying technical amendments related to the implementation of the sixth cycle housing element, including the general plan amendment to update the general plan land use table LU2, which is the residential land use designations, amendments to Title 18 of the Anaheim Municipal Code, modifying chapters 18.06, the multiple family residential zones, 18.12, mixed use zone, and 18.52, affordable housing.
Mr. City Manager, could we please have a staff report?
I'd ask for a staff report from Director Allen, please.
Good evening, and thank you, Mayor and council members. Joining me this evening is Christine Nguyen, Senior Planner and Project Manager for the Housing Element. So this is a public hearing. It's a follow-up item to City Council's adoption of the sixth cycle housing element and includes clarifying technical zoning and general plan amendments that were required by the California Department of Housing and Community Development, or HCD, for final certification. You'll recall in April and May of this year, the City Council adopted the draft six-cycle housing element along with related implementation actions. This followed Planning Commission's recommendation of approval in March. The adopted housing element was submitted to HCD on May 16th. On July 10th, HCD issued a letter confirming Anaheim's housing element is in substantial compliance with state housing element law, and no comments specifically on the housing element were provided. This determination released our permanent local housing allocation funds, which provide critical resources for affordable housing production. Approximately $6 million of funds came to the city. The same letter identified 4 technical provisions requiring clarification for full consistency with state law. These must be addressed within 60 days to achieve final certification. On August 11th, the Planning Commission unanimously recommended approval of the land use element and zoning code amendments before you tonight. These amendments respond directly to HCD's letter and have been reviewed with HCD staff. The proposed amendments are presented tonight for your consideration. Items 1 through 3 all pertain to projects where at least 20% of the units are affordable to lower income households and they are located on qualifying housing element candidate sites. Practically speaking, housing development projects are already in compliance. However, these amendments provide specific clarity with respect to the requirements in state law. And I'll describe each of the 4 on the next set of slides. So the amendment to the zoning code is intended to implement recent state housing law. It applies to any housing element candidate site where at least 20% of the units in a proposed project are affordable to lower income households. The amendment ensures that qualifying housing developments are entitled to by right review, which means they can proceed without the need for a discretionary approval process, meaning Planning Commission review. It's also important to note that this provision does not apply to subdivision maps. Those applications would continue to follow the city's existing discretionary review process unless state law requires otherwise. The second item is a general plan amendment that implements state housing law. It applies to housing element candidate sites that were identified as feasible for lower income housing and where at least 20% of the units in a project are affordable to lower income households. In addition, the site must have a general plan land use designation of either medium density or mixed use medium. The amendment ensures that qualifying projects provide a minimum density of 20 dwelling units per acre, while the maximum density of 30 dwelling units per acre remains unchanged. Next is a zoning code amendment to implement state housing law. It applies to housing element candidate sites that were identified as feasible for lower income housing and where at least 20% of the units are affordable to lower income households. The amendment also applies when a project proposes a mix of uses on the site. In those cases, the amendment ensures that residential uses make up at least 50% of a project's total floor area. And lastly, we have a zoning code amendment to clarify implementation of state law. This past spring, the city codified that the development proposed on a 6-cycle housing element site that was also identified as a candidate site in the 5th cycle is permitted by right. This amendment clarifies that the list of such sites will be published as a planning standard detail number 13. Staff recommends City Council approval of the proposed clarifying technical zoning and general plan amendments in compliance with state law and in satisfaction of the required revisions from HCD. These amendments facilitate the provision of lower income units on sites identified to meet the shortfall of lower income housing need when an affordable housing development is proposed. This concludes staff's presentation. I'm available to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, before public comment, are there any questions by council? Seeing none, I will open up the public hearing. Clerk, do you have any speaker cards for this hearing?
Mayor and City Council, we do have one, Mark Herbert, and the time limit is 5 minutes.
Thank you.
Mark Herbert, AnaheimGreece.com. I was at the August 11th Planning Commission when this staff report was given, and I raised 11 rather technical questions during public comments, which they allowed, so that they would be aware of my concerns before the staff report. They were not addressed in the staff report or afterwards. They were not addressed tonight. This is about the last step going forward to the state in this long housing element process. I was told at the Planning Commission that these were just technical issues as they were reported tonight, and they did not involve any rezoning issues. And yet, in the follow-up, there was a little back and forth at the Planning Commission. There were some zoning changes from when the housing element was submitted in March and when it was resubmitted in June. It got down to some language things. Was it zoning? Was it technical? I go back to the letters, the 5 letters the city has received from the state through the whole process, where the public is to be involved in all processes, all steps of the process. Not the ones that the council decides where we can interact. And my question on these 4 is, this is 4 years into the process. How come it's taken so long to deal with these? 4 years in. And this is still delaying the approval of the process. So there was a lot to cover in the process. As I've given you earlier, I think it's 732 pages in the report, which I read, and I had several hundred questions which still remain unanswered. These 11 questions were in addition to these. It joins the list. So let's go forward. I think I'd like to have those addressed, those questions. And if not, it leaves me just one last step. I did drop this off at several offices in Sacramento, and you'll be happy to know they share your belief in public response, and I've received none. The one avenue which is promising is the State Attorney General's office. And I think what's happened since May when I dropped those off and what's happened now, he will find very interesting. And because public engagement hasn't been dealt with up to this point, there's some interesting new additions to the problem since May during this process. I'll just touch upon them here for the housing element. It's interesting to contrast how the Midway development recently that came through here and how the project on Anaheim Boulevard that came through a couple meetings ago were both treated. Handled completely differently in the public engagement. We asked during the Midway one that the appraisal be made public before it was approved, denied. In the project, the last council meeting, it was agreed it would be released, the appraisal for that project. The consistency of the rules is very troubling through this process. I think they'll be interested on this housing trust fund. That's a whole new element because there's a problem, and the problem isn't, they have a lot of problems in the housing, but a lot has to do with the lack of funding. And what's interesting is in the stadium report at the last council meeting, it was noted that Cozza Associates has been given a $20,000 contract to help in this process. They were involved back in 2019 when there was all the previous problems defining what a surplus land was. I find it interesting the city's going back to the same consultant who failed them in the past, and the state attorney general had to step in to let the city know what Surplus Land Act meant. Thank you.
Mayor and City Council, that concludes our speakers on the public hearing. Noting for the record, we did not receive any electronic comments on the public hearing item.
Thank you. With no further comments, I'm going to close the public hearing. Are there any comments or questions for staff by council? With no further discussion, is there a motion?
Make a motion.
Motion by Councilmember Moz, seconded by Councilmember Kurtz. Please vote.
A resolution of the City Council of City of Anaheim amending the General Plan Land Use Element Development 2021-00223, which also includes a determination that the amendment is not subject to CEQA pursuant to Section 15061B3 of the state CEQA guidelines. And this is also the introduction of the ordinance.
Thank you.
And the vote is 6 ayes, no nays, with the recorded absence by Councilmember Leon. Motion carries.
Thank you very much. Next is our report on closed session. City Attorney, do you have anything to report?
As to items 1 and 2, there's no reportable action. As to item 3, the council voted 6-0, Councilmember Leon absent, to participate as amicus in the pending Ninth Circuit appeal of Newsom versus Trump in support of the governor in the state of California in challenging military deployments for local law enforcement. And that's at the end of the report.
Thank you very much. Now is the time for non-agenda item, public comments. We do not have any, correct, Clerk?
That's correct, Mayor.
So future agenda requests by council members. If you do have a future agenda request, please ring in. I will start with Councilmember Moz and then Councilmember Rubalcaba.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I have a request for an Anaheim Canyon med tech study. So the Anaheim Canyon is our city's largest business area with more than 40,000 people working in manufacturing, technology, healthcare, and services. I'm proud that a part of the canyon is in District 5, with the rest extending into neighboring District 6. Medical, healthcare, and scientific technology is among the top 5 industry sectors in the canyon. These are also some of the strongest and highest paying jobs. I would like to ask our economic development team to prepare a memo or report to the City Council about ways to attract more medical and healthcare technology to the canyon. The industry sector in Anaheim Canyon is anchored by Kaiser Permanente and includes GE Healthcare, X-ray diagnostics company Generay, and dental technology provider ETI Digital, among others. I would like to champion the growth of this important sector in the canyon and throughout our city. I welcome learning more about what we can do to attract businesses, offer sensible incentives, and streamline regulations. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Rubalcaba.
Thank you. So a couple items. One, I am working with one of my commissioners. Apparently there is an addictive synthetic thing that are in our stores, liquor stores. So I've already talked to Heather from Code Enforcement about this, but I would love to have something come back to council to review banning or eliminating kratom products. Kratom, thank you. So the county has already done this in unincorporated areas of Orange County, so it would be great if we can explore this as well. There are things that are in liquor stores that our young people are going to, and it's called Feel Free, and other things that are similar to heroin or cocaine. So it would be great to review this. And I know Heather mentioned that she's going to be bringing some other items back for us to review as well. So if we can add that to an agenda item. And then as mentioned, I would like to request staff, or not direct staff, but ask staff to explore a council-sponsored initiative, bring it back for discussion related to revenue-generating opportunities through an entertainment tax. I have started to work with our city manager as well as our director of finance and public works as well as our city attorney. So I will just express some of the things on record that I would like to bring back, hopefully to the 23rd meeting, because if this is something that our council has an opportunity to really lean in on and review, as policymakers, it is really our responsibility to make sure that we are ensuring that our general fund has enough revenue to make sure that our city is growing and thriving. And like I mentioned, we have big projects in our city that will do that. We have a housing element that we just discussed that will create more housing. So we are growing, but our budget is not growing, unfortunately. And we cannot continue to just depend on TOT. So to look at this entertainment, I think it's kind of time at this point for us as a body, elected body, to review this. So for staff, I'm just going to mention a couple of things that we might be able to bring forward, because I really want our council to have the opportunity to see all of the information needed to really digest and determine what the best path forward is. If we could get city expenses and capital improvement projects, just so that we can see the need. I know that we talk about the LPMR funds. We have had a chance to review some of the back of the napkin look, and it is exhausted, and there are ongoing expenses. So if we can bring those forward so council could take a look at that. Revenue opportunities for the entertainment tax, which would include ticket and parking, like I mentioned. We have also looked at a sales tax, which I don't think would be great in this economic climate for residents of Anaheim. We really should be looking at tourism and people who are visiting, but not paying TOT, so that would be something that I would like to see. Ballot measure language for council to consider as well. So the reason why this is urgent in terms of timing, it would have to go to our residents, and I really do think that I hope that this council is open to allowing our residents to weigh in on this really important ballot initiative, and that would have to go to a general election. So that is the November 2026. And I have already started working with our city attorney on that, so hopefully we can bring that forward. And then at some point, we will be looking for a motion for this council to consider approving and sending to the 2026 ballot. Would anybody like to add anything to that, since we're asking staff to bring stuff?
I just have a quick question, and I'm glad you brought up the Kratom thing. I was just reading something about this at behest of a District 6 resident on this exact same, which is why I knew what it was when you were referring to it. But I would like to ask, I don't know if this would be a city attorney or a city clerk question, just in general, not specifically on this issue, for general election 2026, when would a ballot initiative have to be voted on, certified, that process?
So the city clerk and I have worked very closely on this, so we have a timeline if you want to share, city clerk, on what that looks like, and then we can probably email it to the council.
So the time frame with regards to if it's a council-initiated initiative, there is a time frame in order to place a ballot before, and that would be in August of 2026. But allowing for it, if it's not council-initiated, and there's other looks at if it could be another either community-sponsored or citizen-sponsored, there are additional timelines what that will look like to allow for coming forward the notice of intention, circulating that petition, which is 180 days, and with that time frame in order to have the certification of petitions and have that brought forward to meet that August 7th deadline, where the recommendation from my office would be looking to submit that notice of intention in the January-February time frame to allow for that full 180 days for circulation and still be presented to council for consideration to be made the November deadline.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Oh, sorry, Councilmember Meeks.
She was just asking for questions or comments on her thoughts, and I just wanted to add to that. I mean, one, I've asked in the past for a long-range funding plan for our strategic plan and what that looks like, and so I'd like that, have the opportunity to understand all that as LPR money gets available. What does that do to our budget? And is this a short-term issue, or is this a long-term issue for our council before we move forward on something like that? And then also, I have significant concerns about not diversifying our revenue sources. And we've already talked a little bit in our budget. Our finance director has, kind of said we are kind of a one-trick pony here in the visitor revenue. And so are there other options that make more sense for us if we do have a long-term shortfall? So those are other issues I would like the staff to look at.
Yeah, and thank you, Councilmember Meeks. We have explored a lot of those things. So I'm confident that staff will be able to bring back all of these elements by the 23rd for council to at least get a good opportunity to review and have a thoughtful discussion, and then we can provide you with direction to help us get to the next step.
Yeah, I just want to be, yes, bring it back. My concern is the 23rd. That's a lot of information, and I would love to have some of the data on that, like where is the majority of our sales tax generated? Is it the resort? Is it the canyon? I don't know. Are we going to be able to do that realistically, like have all the information we need, or could we do it in October, or just have the flexibility maybe if it's not ready to do it in October? Would that be okay?
I think, I mean, city manager, you can, but we have started the process on looking at it. I mean, we can even on, after the 23rd, we can look at what we have. And if council would like to request an economic impact study be conducted, I think that might be a great investment on our front to see if that's something that's possible. So, city manager, if you can come back with also some recommendations for an economic impact study, if that's the direction that council gives you on the 23rd.
Right, go ahead.
Yeah, this is just, I want to remind the council, this is agenda setting at this point. So a lot of the timing issues are built into our agenda sending policies, which is that we will, of course, work with the agendizing council member on the desired timing and also adjust that depending on abilities. So this will be no exception, and we'll work with the council member on ensuring that we can have a proper discussion on the 23rd.
Thanks, Rob.
Okay, so with no other business before the council, we stand adjourned until September 23rd, 2025.